Important, there's no shortage of raw materials. According to Carmen Quijosa, over 27 million tons of residual biomass is discarded every year from the pineapple harvest. That alone could cover the entire current annual leather production for shoes worldwide without using up additional land and other resources, says Carmen Quijosa. In 2011, Quijosa applies for a patent for Piñatex, a key step on the way to the product's success. Nearly 3,000 brands in 80 countries already use Piñatex, many of them from the fashion world. But numerous other industries are beginning to discover the new material as well. Quijosa's alternative leather, a combination of economic success and an ecologically and ethically sound product.
Boy, you should see this cute little honey of a poodle I dating now, you know.
What, you with another girlfriend? Man, what happened to the last dog you was going out with?
Man, I had to dump her, but she's getting too clingy.
Well, I hope you protecting yourself.
Yeah, you see, I don't let none of them know where I live.
No, man, I don't mean so they don't find you. I mean getting yourself neutered so you don't have a little bunch of spots running all around.
Man, I worry about that. I is man. I know what I doing.
Yeah, famous last words. Well, I guess you ain't hear what happened to Skippy, eh?
What? What happened to Skippy?
Well, let's just say he ain't skipping around no more. He ain't get himself neutered. Now he in the doghouse with a wife and 9 puppies.
Man, I gotta get myself neutered, but you know I like to run free.
Wait, ain't that your old girlfriend Fifi coming behind you?
Keep the stray dog population down in the Bahamas. Make sure your dog has been spayed or neutered. Let's make it Bahamian to be humane.
This message has been brought to you by the Bahamas Humane Society and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, after 2 years of an online platform, it is back to the classrooms for students and teachers. Also, PTBI officials bearing good news during a courtesy call to the Minister for Grand Bahama. And residents on Grand Bahama to have access to the government's free COVID-19 testing soon. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Roll-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, students across the Bahamas will return to school campuses for in-person learning on Monday. In preparation for the return, Superintendent of Education, along with union leaders, toured the various schools on Grand Bahama today to ensure that the classrooms are ready for opening. Here's
to return. We support the government on the fact that school should open and we should be back in school.
That coming from union representatives on Grand Bahama who say the time has come to head back to the classrooms. Led by District Superintendent for the Northern Bahamas, Ivan Butler, union officials were taken on a tour of the schools on Grand Bahama to assess whether or not the schools were in good physical condition for the students to return safely.
With the exception of some minor repairs, you know, we do believe that we are ready to accept our students. The teachers are eager. We just visited one of our primary schools, and the consensus from the teachers that they are willing and able and can't wait to accept their students come Monday.
And with such short notice, Butler is encouraging parents to not let anything deter them from sending their kids back to school come Monday. He says the only exception should be if they are exhibiting symptoms.
We don't want parents to keep their children home for any reason, uniform, books, no reason. We want our students to come to school to begin the process. We want to start our educational process of, getting our students ready for national exams, getting our students ready just to be back in a face-to-face mode with their teachers.
He says all safety protocols will be in effect as no more than 20 students will be in a class 3 feet apart. But here's what the union reps had to say.
Administrators are excited. The district is excited. We have been in school last year, which the country probably will not be aware of, but we were able to function with the right protocols in place, and so we're excited to open in Grand Bahama. The children are waiting, teachers are excited, and administration say, let's go, let's get started.
For the return on Monday, when we got the information, teachers are ready to go back to school. We know it may be a little short notice, but in working with the Ministry of Education and with BEMU, we recognize that the classes are ready. Everything that's supposed to be placed in order seemed to be in order. In checking with my shop stewards from Nassau, we found that all the classrooms are equipped with the necessary tools for the COVID protocols with sanitizers and the social distancing. We've seen that the quarters where they are housed, we've seen the quarters for the custodial staff, everything is in place in their areas as well.
Major believes that this has been long overdue.
We cannot base everything on just one island. Every island has its own unique problems. So if the island of Grand Bahama can open and be face-to-face, why not?
As Gibson shares the only challenge that she foresees thus far.
We do have some challenges with the shortages of custodial staff at a few of our institutions, and I believe that the minister is working very hard to get those persons in place, and I do ensure that they'll be in place by Monday.
The social distancing?
Social distancing, that's a challenge because children are excited to see each other. And so as much as you can say, step away, keep within 6 feet, when you turn your back, they'll go back in hugs. But I think everything is done in decency.
Meantime, executives of the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute here on Grand Bahama making a stop at the office of the Minister for Grand Bahama. The executive is giving an update on operations at the institution. The Minister for Grand Bahama hearing firsthand the major plans that the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute is preparing for in 2022.
BTVI has played a key role really with us and in the industrial center of our island in helping to train some of our professionals when it comes to technology and vocational studies. And so we look to really partner with BTVI in moving forward to get a lot more programs going. And many of them, of course, include maritime programs. They also include solar energy programs. They include what we consider the built environment. And we're looking at models like those in Nova Scotia that we're going to discuss further.
President Robert Robinson says currently 6,000 students attend the school nationally, and by end term that number will climb to 7,000. He says a lot of the interest is also coming from Grand Bahama, where 500 students are enrolled, and that number is expected to double by summer's end. He adds that the school also spoke to additional programs that will be added, including allied health.
Sustainability are very important, solar, for example. We're also, though, working with a school in the United States on an allied health program, which I know is also very important here. We will have visitors, boots on the ground here within 2 weeks from this school in New England. It's called New England Institute of Technology. Most schools from the U.S. who come here obviously just go to Nassau, which we are going to ensure does not happen anymore. They have to come to Freeport. I've already told them as of yesterday that a part of their schedule, they are coming here for a visit because we really think there's a market here for allied health in particular. And that market also will go back to other islands in the Bahamas.
And that date is set for February 8th. He notes that big construction opportunities are also coming on stream throughout the Bahamas, as a request has been made for 500 certified Bahamians by June 2022.
Now, that's a tight window, but with the schedule that we have and the NCCER program that we have called the National Center for Construction Education and Research, we anticipate that we can meet the demands of the industry by June 2022. And I want to reiterate that because it's a very important date.
Is that for export?
That's for construction of major facilities, residential.
And he says Grand Bahama will figure in prominently.
But some will come from here. So tomorrow morning, we're meeting with the school superintendent in Grand Bahama. We're going to start a second cohort of NCCER students here and hopefully stream them into some of these construction opportunities by the summer of this year. That's a significant opportunity. Various companies are doing this, by the way, not just that one. And so we think and it's important that these people be certified. These companies that are coming in want certified construction specialists.
The president boasts that the school will also be working with high school students.
The way forward to do that with high school students in grade 12, for example, but also those who have recently left the workforce, and that's one area where I will be talking to the PS about getting his assistance to find those people on this island who need that training for those jobs. We're also working with labor on precisely the same point in Eleuthera and Exuma. So it will be spread around. It's not just coming to Grand Bahama, but it certainly will have a big impact here, I can guarantee you. And so we think we're ready for that. Ms. Colley and her team in Freeport are excited about it.
Residents on Grand Bahama to have access to the government's free COVID-19 testing soon. During the weekly press briefing at the office of the Prime Minister in the nation's capital today, Press Officer Jillian Gray gave an update on the testing program, which will be rolled out on Grand Bahama in the coming days.
Since starting our free testing pilot program in New Providence on January 8th, 7,565 people have been tested, and 567 of those presented positive. And as you know, those sites are at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium, Malia, and South Beach Clinic. We will then roll out free testing in Grand Bahama, as promised, of course, this weekend. And residents can begin registering as early as tomorrow on covidtest.gov.bs. The free testing begins this Saturday at Christ the King Hall. We would like to thank our partners in Grand Bahama who have helped to make this initiative a reality.
7 additional COVID deaths taking place in the country. Based on the latest dashboard, the 7 deaths include a 76-year-old Grand Bahama man who died on January 8th and a 37-year-old Bimini man who also died on January 8th. The death toll is now at 726, with another 37 deaths under investigation. Now, there are 144 new cases. 113 have been confirmed on New Providence, 14 on Grand Bahama, 8 on Exuma, 2 on Inagua, with 1 each on Abaco and Long Island, with the location of another pending. Hospitalizations have climbed to 157. 32 are on Grand Bahama, including 4 in the intensive care unit. Switching gears now, local government elections slated to take place here on Grand Bahama and throughout the Family Islands next week. During the office of the Prime Minister's press briefing today, the parliamentary commissioner outlined plans for the voting process. Sabrina Brown has more.
Parliamentary Commissioner Lavardo Duncanson says interest in the upcoming local government elections is high, as the number of candidates this time around exceeds numbers in previous years.
Following nomination day, we would have had some 600 plus candidates who presented themselves for nomination, 617. The register for the Family Island for the local government elections comprises of some 29,000 plus individuals. For the Family Islands and Grand Bahama, some 30,000 plus individuals, which gives us a total of around 60,000 individuals who are scheduled, who are eligible to participate in the upcoming local government elections. We want to remind the Bahamian population that local government elections are scheduled to take place on the islands of Grand Bahama and the Family Island. There's no local government elections on the island of New Providence.
Duncanson also reminding the public of some important rules as residents in Grand Bahama and the Family Islands prepare to go to the polls next week.
We just want the general population to know that notices have gone out, reminders that persons are entitled to that 1 hour plus the extra hour for voting on election day, which is next week. We want to remind the general population that should you not have your voter's card in hand when you present yourself to cast your vote on next week, Thursday, that and government-issued identification, such as a passport, driver's license, the NIB smart card that has your image on it, can be used to identify yourself when you enter the polling place.
As the country battles the fourth wave of the COVID-19 pandemic in the face of the most contagious variant, the parliamentary commissioner assures voters that health and safety will be priority.
We at the Parliamentary Registration Department continue with our efforts to consult with the healthcare professionals, and the healthcare professionals provided us with guidelines to adhere to during the upcoming local government elections, which includes election poll workers were, and will continue to be encouraged to be vaccinated, or at least commence with the vaccination process. All poll workers, that includes the election agents, are required to wear face masks. That includes persons presenting themselves to vote on local government election day. It is mandatory that persons wear a face mask. Our poll workers were provided with medical grade face masks in addition to face shields. The healthcare professionals have stressed that our poll workers wear both the face shields and the medical grade face masks that were made available by the Parliamentary Registration Department.
Sanitizing stations will also be in place, and campaigners will not be allowed within 100 yards of polling centers. Local government elections will be held on Thursday, January 27th between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Come on down now. Come on down now.
Alive brings to you the iPhone 12 64 gigs for $249 when you switch to Alive postpaid. Alive, believe in best.
Hey kids, have you heard of a cool place called Shape Your Crepe? Well, they have the most yummiest crepes. They are so good. Check out the Kids Kingdom menu at Shape Your Crepe, located at number 9 West Mall Drive, or call them at 82 Shape and you'll get a special surprise from Mr. Crepey. See you there. Bye.
At Pizza Hut Freeport, you can enjoy 2 medium Pizza Hut one-topping pizzas, pan or thin crust, and a 2-liter Coke for just $23.05. Get your pizza your way for only $23.05. Fact inclusive. Pick your toppings and order today. Call Pizza Hut downtown at 352-9191 or Pizza Hut East Sunrise Highway, 373-8500. Pizza Hut Freeport.
I'm Erica Williams, proprietor of Modivas 242 Beauty and Apparel. We've been in business for the past 8 years, and this is your women's variety store. We have all your women's beauty products and fashion products here available. We are fully stocked just to get you ready from head to toe. We have tops, bottoms, jeans, we got cotton tees, we have basic tees in all colors. You can find that sexy dress to go on out. You can come on down also and find that we have shoes. We carry body shapers, underwear. We also carry full figure bras. So you ladies with the full chest, we got your size. We have up to F. This is your time to come and check us out and see all of the great little stuff that we have going on here. We are located number 7 Rachel's Britannia Mini Mall. You can follow us through Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Our phone contact is 375-4665 and 688-8622.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Police need your help tonight in locating 2 missing men. 38-year-old Wilfred Gerard McPhee of Lewis Yard was last seen late last year. He is of dark brown complexion, 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, slim built, and wears a full beard. Also, Haitian national Penel Louis, aka James Louis, aka Jamal Louis, is also considered missing. Louis is a resident of Columbus Drive, and he was last seen in December of last year. He is between 5 feet 4 and 5 feet 9 inches, about 150 to 180 pounds, dark brown complexion. If you have any information on the whereabouts of these 2 men, you're asked to contact the police. Meantime, police on Grand Bahama mounting a joint operation last night, which resulted in the arrest of 9 illegal immigrants. A team of officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit, Marine Unit, Mobile Unit, Southwestern Division conducted a joint land and sea operation in the area of Williamstown. Now, police say upon arrival, a white 20-foot single-engine vessel with a bimini top was spotted exiting a canal with several persons on board. The officers attempted to stop that vessel. A chase ensued, and the vessel then ran aground on the beach near a business establishment where persons were seen running into nearby bushes. A search of the area resulted in the capture of 5 adult Haitian males, 2 adult Haitian females, and 2 Haitian juveniles. The illegal immigrants were handed over to the Bahamas Department of Immigration for further investigation. Meantime, police recovering an unlicensed firearm on the island of Bimini. Police say it was around 2:30 p.m. yesterday. A team of officers from the Allistown Police Station conducted a search of the residence situated on South Bimini. Police say the occupants refused to open the door, and when officers gained entry, the occupants fled through a back door. A search was conducted of that residence, and officers reportedly discovered a black and gold modified assault rifle and a magazine that contained 17 live rounds of .223 ammunition, along with 2 Bahamian passports. Switching gears now, they call it a food truck park. It is located in the heart of downtown, and it is quickly becoming a hot spot for persons wishing to stop for a quick bite. As Jamila Mezik tells us, quick variety of food can now be found in the park.
It is becoming a budding one-stop food and beverage spot. It is the Freeport Food Truck Park located on Pioneers Way, downtown Freeport. Managing Director of Freeport Restaurants, Fallon Simonet, says they've had the lot for some time now, and the spot can hold a number of food trucks.
We decided after a while what to do with it, that we would just turn it into a food truck park. And we saw some when we travel in the States and around the world. Food truck parks are a new venture that people are exploring, so we thought we would try our hand at that as well. Freeport used to have a lot of restaurants through the years, and things have changed. A lot of businesses have closed, and opening a food truck is a great way to do something different without the heavy cost of operating a brick and mortar. So it's affordable, and you can try something new. We'd love for someone to bring a taco truck to this spot or barbecue. The options are endless.
Shirley Lowe, owner of Ellie's South on the Run, has been the longest vendor at the food truck park. The breakfast food vendor says the park is becoming a community and adds that persons should continue to support the small businesses.
I really like the vans coming in, you understand, on the ground, which makes it a lot of fun, you know, and if she doesn't have something, then they can come here or vice versa, you understand? So I think it's a good thing. Really, it's okay, it's holding its own, but, you know, we could use some more business, you know. And I think when the downtown begin to get a little busy, you know, we'll have some feedback from there.
Keisa Williams, owner of Heavenly Treats and Snacks, is one of the newest vendors at the food truck park.
I came up with the business because I know most of the times people wanted to go to the show and they needed something from the theaters, the popcorn, the nachos, and the different things. So I just add some little stuff added to the business, which is the ice cream and all the other stuff that is added. But I know when they're looking for the show is not in Grand Bahama, so you can find everything you're looking for at the show at Heavenly Tree and Snacks.
Lachey Douglas of Shay's Kitchen says she relocated from a restaurant in the 8 Mile Rock community and decided to give the food truck business a try.
And I just chose like a different venture from 8 Mile Rock, and I wanted to come up Freeport and see what the uptown life was all about. So far, I've been going good. A lot of my customers following me. Every week it's getting better and better. It's been going good. I like it. It's very nice.
And Livity, a vegan restaurant, is also in the food truck park.
Since we've been in the park, business was great. A lot of our old customers from the other locations still come and support. So, yeah, it's been great overall. We all sell different things. We have different varieties. And here, if you want to eat healthy and go on a good diet, I think you should choose Livity to eat because we don't use sugar or anything, so it's much healthier.
Jamila Missick, ZNS Network News.
A check on sports up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to sports. We have some updates from athletes from Grand Bahama that's excelling abroad, but first and foremost, tennis is back on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Pure Water and Ice Tournament is scheduled to take place February 10th through the 13th at the YMCA Tennis Courts. The tournament is sanctioned by the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association. President of the Grand Bahama Tennis Association, Natishka Barrett, has more.
We're going to be having under 12, under 14, under 16, and under 18 girls and boys divisions. And if time permits, we're also looking forward to having doubles under 14 and under 18. This is a non-spectator event because of the pandemic, so we're asking the players to be accompanied by one parent or one guardian. And of course, we will be taking temperatures and making sure that we have sanitizers around as well.
It's been a while since competitive tennis has been played. However, Lauren Miller says the excitement is in the air.
The kids are very much excited to be able to come out and show their skills, show their sports, and show that they still can play tennis at a competitive level. So they're pretty much excited. They've been doing extra practice even on Saturdays, even though they practice through the week from Monday to Friday. We had a crew who practiced on Saturday as well, so they're pretty much excited and ready.
Bahamas Pure Water and Ice has been a major sponsor and supporter of the annual tennis tournament for many years, including this year. Greg LaRoe explains just why.
We feel like it's very important for them to have an opportunity to come together in a tournament like this, play with each other, socialize, obviously observing the proper protocols, but they need that interaction.
Switching gears now in hoops action on the women's side, Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen and her Ole Miss Lady Rebels will be in action again tonight in conference play against Texas A&M. The Rebels are coming off a 86-71 win in their last game against in-state rivals Mississippi State to improve to 15-2 overall on the season. As far as SEC play, the Lady Rebels are 3-1, which puts them atop of the conference standings, trailing just Tennessee, South Carolina, and LSU. And finally in sports, a pair of Grand Bahamian teammates in track and field expected to see some action this Friday. Jumper Chiron Kemp and sprinter Ty Dawkins over at Minnesota State University Moorhead will compete at the South Dakota State D2 Invitational Track Meet. This will be their first competition for both athletes since the Dakota Classic in early December. And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Shoes or handbags? Visit Steppin' Out. They've relocated at number 4 Old Sam's Plaza. Stepping out when you want to put your best foot forward.
Island Bedding is the Bahamas' leading manufacturer in mattress sets. But did you know we also carry top quality products like pillows, comforters, sheets, and much more. Our furniture line is also expanding to meet the needs of those rebuilding. We have bedroom sets, sofa beds, recliners, accent pieces, and so much more. Come and experience Island Bedding today, where everybody deserves their own island.
Get your 2022 calendar while supplies last. Happy New Year and best wishes from Esquire Men's Freeport. Esquire located number 8 Lucaya Shopping Center.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors.
Alive brings to you the iPhone 12 64 gigs for $249 when you switch to Alive postpaid. Alive, believe in best.
Hey there everyone, my name is D'Amico Nesbitt and welcome to Health Bites, where each and every week we give you helpful tips to help you on your health and fitness journey. Today's episode is for the guys. We have 3 natural herbs that's going to help with your everyday energy, performance in both the bedroom and everyday life. Listen up. Herb number 1 is maca, and maca is a root plant extract from the Andes mountain. And what it's going to do is going to increase your fertility, increase your libido, your drive. And it's also going to increase your sperm motility. So if you are trying to have kids, it's going to help that be more effective. It's also good for everyday energy and mood. Maca. Number 2 is ashwagandha. This is really popular. It has a whole host of benefits. Benefit number 1 is it's going to increase your testosterone production, which we know is going to help with building muscle, help with more energy, better sex drive, all the above. It also is going to increase your nitrous oxide production, which is going to help increase blood flow all throughout your body. Another benefit, which is key in these times, is that it's also an immune booster. So it's also going to increase your immune health. Ashwagandha is also taken by people who have trouble sleeping or resting. Take it close to bedtime. It's going to help you have a more restful sleep and put you to sleep faster. Ashwagandha. And last but not least, we have Panax ginseng, which is known as the king of herbs. Panax ginseng is also going to increase your energy. It's going to also help to relax your muscles, which is great for the gym. And it's going to increase blood flow as well. So when you take it, you're going to have better pumps in the gym. And also it's going to have more stamina in the bedroom as well. All these herbs are under $25 and they can be found here at the Fitness Connection, any location. Come by and check us out.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number 1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Roosevelt Rolls Sr., you are our Facebook friend of the night. We say thank you for your support. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshana Wolf-Farquharson. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, 2022 tourism projections revealed. An immersive new resort on tap, a jump in COVID deaths, and a great Exuma Golf Classic dubbed a success. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC's Superfast Extreme Internet Bundle. Make Christmas sparkle. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akash Lupinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. It seems the Bahamas is holding strong as the premier destination for tourists around the world. You see, despite the significant dent in the national tourism product due to the COVID-19 pandemic last year, the strong rebound touted by the Davis administration is said to be close to pre-pandemic levels. Here's what the tourism minister shared with our Altavis Munnings.
At this time last year, the Bahamas was still under COVID-19 restrictions that limited not just what residents do, but the small number of tourists that were coming here. Nearly 2 years in the COVID-19 pandemic, and we're not yet at 100% in terms of tourism recovery, but we're getting there.
We know that for December and November, we're still looking for numbers for 2022. We're early days yet. But in terms of our recovery, we're back to 90% of our pre-pandemic level arrivals for those months. So we think that's very good. The Caribbean is tracking maybe 15% behind us. But the reality of it is that we are trending very strong in terms of tourism recovery. And we're looking and hoping that this will continue into the near term.
Government is surely making it more easier and convenient for international passengers to travel to the Bahamas, despite the recent rise in COVID-19 cases. The message has been disseminated that the Bahamas is a safe destination and visitors can feel comfortable vacationing here.
Let's be frank about this. Many of them are coming from communities where community spread is actually higher than it is in the Bahamas. Certainly in many of our family islands, there have been no COVID cases since the pandemic began. So it's not just Nassau that's trending with relatively high numbers. We have 16 island destinations. Some of them are still COVID-free. This message is getting to the world through our normal marketing channels, and we think this is going to pay dividends for us into the near and medium term.
As the United States and Canada remain the country's primary source visitor markets, Tourism Investments and Aviation Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, touted details of priority marketing in Florida.
There are 30 million Americans living in Florida alone. It's a 35-minute flight from Fort Lauderdale, Miami to Nassau. This is an easy skip back home if there's an issue. Certainly, they're very close to home, and that's positive. We'll continue to be sure to market to Florida itself directly. That hasn't been discontinued. Canada is also a strong market. We have strong airlift with WestJet and Air Canada coming from major markets, Toronto, et cetera, in Canada. So we anticipate that demand is going to continue to be strong.
Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, a new resort's to open in the Bahamas dubbed Somewhere Else. Atlantis Paradise Island Resort will partner with David Gretman of Groot Hospitality and American musician Pharrell Williams to open the property in 2024. The resort will sit adjacent to Atlantis. The new hotel is expected to offer a unique and immersive experience, blending Gretman's ability to create highly memorable hospitality platforms with Williams' genre-spanning artistry. Offering up congratulations on this new venture is the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper.
We're going to see $100 million investment in Atlantis, restoring one of the older towers into a dynamic new resort that caters to the art and culture and entertainment sector. This is exciting news for the tourism product. We anticipate that this is going to pay big dividends in the the medium and long term. We congratulate Atlantis for this development, and we believe this is going to be a very positive outcome for tourism as a whole.
Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael Hokitas, is blaming inflation on the increase in the cost of goods, and this despite value-added tax dropping from 12% to 10% January 1st. In fact, he claims that reduction is actually preventing prices from rising as high as they would have.
We import most of what we consume here in the Bahamas, and so prices have been going up due to certain challenges with the supply chain. We've seen it at the highest level for quite a number of years in the United States, where they're experiencing issues with supply and, of course, prices going up as a result. And so that's imported. Hopefully, it works itself out over the next weeks and months, and so we can see a reduction. But it is a function of imported inflation.
Hokitas maintains Bahamians should just have to look to their neighbors to the north, where the rate of inflation has soared.
But if you look in the United States, for example, I think the rate was about 7%, which was the highest for the first quarter, or the last quarter, which I think was the highest in something like 30 years. And so, we being an importing country, we'll feel the effects of that.
In related news, the Bahamas landing in the top 10 on 2022 Numbio's cost of living index. Of the 139 countries listed, the Bahamas ranks number 9, one notch higher than it did mid-year 2021. Often used to compare how expensive it is to live in one location compared to another, a cost of living index looks at the amount of money needed to sustain basic needs like housing, food, and health care. In the case of the Bahamas, the cost of living index is pegged at 84, with a rent index of 35.34, groceries index of 70.59, and a restaurant price index of 89.09. Now, to bring some clarity to these numbers, the indices are relative to New York City. For instance, each index in New York City should be 100%. That said, it's just 16% more expensive to live in that U.S. city than it is to live in the Bahamas. However, renting in the Bahamas is 65% cheaper here than in New York. Meantime, with an estimated purchasing power of 45.07 based on Numbio, Bahamians can afford to buy on average of 55% less goods and services than New York residents with an average salary. Numbio is the world's largest cost of living database. In news from the region this evening, the island of Barbados making history again as Mia Mottley was sworn in today for a second term as that island's prime minister. Barbados' general election called 18 months before its scheduled date. Mottley's Barbados Labour Party made a clean sweep at the polls by winning all 30 parliamentary seats, completely wiping out the opposition Democratic Labour Party. Prime Minister Mottley and her Attorney General Dale Marshall took their oaths of office this morning before Barbados' newly appointed president, Dame Sandra Mason. Prime Minister Mottley, now the first leader under the island's republic system and serving as a member of Parliament for St. Michael Northeast for the 8th time, spoke of her new government's immediate goals in a COVID-19 environment.
We want to be able to get back to a point where persons can regain control over their movements and their lives. And we've done well as a nation, but we are still not out of the woods. Over the course of the next few days, until the cabinet is appointed, I will have to take responsibility for the Ministry of Health because that work with COVID, as you know, is a daily exercise. But I look forward to announcing the cabinet on Monday and therefore being able to ensure that once sworn in, that we will start with the business of the affairs of this country.
Now, Prime Minister Mottley also acknowledging that the lack of an official opposition poses a tremendous burden.
I have to be the government's chief opposition when necessary because the one thing I know is that I must not in any way breach the oath of office that I just took, and that the people of this country must always know that the fairness which they value, the accountability which they need, and the transparency which is required will always be part and parcel of the functioning of this government.
Well, still to come, free COVID testing in New Providence this weekend, and COVID impacts operations at UB. We'll be back right after this break. And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30 and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Best rate, no delays. Best
Best rate, no delay. BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment. Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay. Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
Since eating at KFC, Shanika became the new savings meme. Get a KFC Mega Mash Bucket Meal with 8 pieces of tender, juicy chicken, a Mega Mashed Potato with gravy, and 4 buttery biscuits starting at only $20, including VAT, and save like an expert at KFC. Order on WhatsApp at 557-3663. KFC Nassau. So good.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Police confirming that 2 men believed to be responsible for the recent assault of a female are in custody. A video of the attack going viral on social media. Authorities confirming that one of the men is an immigration officer. At last report, the female victim was in serious condition in hospital. An active police investigation is underway. A Bahamas Air charter left the capital for Port-au-Prince, Haiti yesterday with 118 Haitians on board. Among the group, 95 males, 20 females, and 3 minors. The Immigration Department's deportation team led the escort with all COVID-19 protocols strictly observed. In related news, 9 illegal immigrants are in the hands of authorities. Acting on a tip, a team of officers headed to Williamstown, where they spotted a 20-foot vessel leaving a canal with several people on board. Police attempted to stop the vessel, but that didn't happen, and a chase ensued. The vessel eventually ran aground on the beach near a business where people were seen running into the bushes. A search of the area led to 5 Haitian men, 2 Haitian women, and 2 Haitian juveniles being captured. The illegal immigrants have since been handed over to immigration officers for further processing. 7 people have been added to the country's COVID death toll based on the data provided on the latest dashboard. The youngest victim, a 37-year-old Bimini man who died on January 8th. The eldest, an 84-year-old man of New Providence who succumbed to the virus 4 days earlier on January 4th. All but one of the 7 who died are men. The country's death toll now 726, with another 37 deaths under investigation. In terms of cases, we have another 144 on record. Of that number, 113 have been confirmed on New Providence, 14 on Grand Bahama, 8 on Exuma, 2 on Inagua, with 1 each on Abaco and Long Island. The location of another pending. Hospitalizations have shot up to 157, with 11 of the sick on the intensive care unit. Some 63 people recovered from the illness on Wednesday, and 500 RT-PCR tests completed. 307 of them repeats, 4 returning inconclusive results. The government's efforts to stave off COVID-19, meantime, continuing in earnest with a free mask distribution program. In fact, the program will soon expand to Grand Bahama, Central Andros, and Eleuthera. Press officer in the office of the Prime Minister, Gillian Gray, today confirmed that thousands of medical masks have been given out to residents.
Thousands of masks have been given out through our partners at the Red Cross, Salvation Army, as well as through testing sites and vaccine centers. Medical grade masks better protects people from the coronavirus, and that's why we've expanded our distribution sites to 3 NGOs. NEMA would have distributed 6,000 masks to the Great Commission Ministries, Hands for Hunger, and International Deliverance Praying Ministry ran by Bishop Lawrence Roll. Each site received 2,000 masks to be given out to people who visit those feeding centers.
Meantime, the government is satisfied that its COVID-19 free testing program is progressing well. The first phase was rolled out earlier this month here in New Providence, with expansion set for the northern Bahamas.
Now, since starting our free testing pilot program in New Providence on January 8th, 7,565 people have been tested, and 567 of those presented positive. And as you know, those sites are at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium, Malia, and South Beach Clinic. We will then roll out free testing in Grand Bahama, as promised, of course, this weekend. And residents can begin registering as early as tomorrow on covidtest.gov.bs. The free testing begins this Saturday at Christ the King Hall. We would like to thank our partners in Grand Bahama who have helped to make this initiative a reality.
Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrey Ramming, the latest to dispel rumors that Bahamians attending World Expo 2020 in Dubai were stranded. Ramming says the telecommunications company in the United States introduced its rollout of 5G technology this week in certain cities, which impacted air transportation. Now, while airlines did cancel some flights, the Bahamian delegation had their flights rerouted and are on their way home.
They, through their travel arrangements, have insurance. They continue to receive a per diem from the government of the Bahamas. Their accommodations are set. They also get testing every 48 hours. And once that person tests negative, they will be sent back to the Bahamas. So I want to dispel any view that that Bahamians are left stranded in Dubai. There was a situation beyond our control where the airlines reacted, and we are pleased to say that have been resolved.
That's the communications director also disclosing that one person in Bahamian contingent traveling to Dubai tested positive for COVID-19. Well, church is also adopting a proactive approach in the fight against COVID-19. Fern Carey spoke with the Bahamas Christian Council president on their next move.
Churches across the country pulling out all the stops to ensure that their congregants are safe in the face of surging COVID-19 numbers. President of the Bahamas Christian Council, Apostle Delton Fernandez, says churches are taking a proactive approach and ensuring that churchgoers adhere to all health and safety protocols in order to avoid community spread of the highly contagious virus.
As a church community, we are aware that Omicron is out there. We want congregants and we want the leaders of churches to be well aware that we ought to do all within our power to protect ourselves, to protect our teams, to protect our congregants, and to know that with putting these stipulations in place ourselves, we send a message to the country that the church is about healthy worship and holistic ministry.
2 years into the pandemic, Bishop Fernandez says adopting various modes of worship, from hybrid to virtual to outdoor services, is now the norm for members of the religious community.
The church at this time, our definition of hybrid is multifaceted. Yes, there are those that are having in-person worship with the new 25% and the sanitization protocol. We are also having full outdoor services, drive-up services. We're having virtual service. And so we have rolled out the gamut of tools to make us safe. And that's what we want the country to know, that churches are proactive. Just yesterday, we would have spoken again about the need to be aware of where we're at and what's happening.
Now, while many churches saw an uptick in church attendance last year, the recent increase in COVID-19 cases has prompted many churchgoers to worship at home or virtually.
There have been no reports to us of clusters, but community spread is wide in our country, and we're leading. And if you did not know, churches are already giving out masks. I think it's different for every church. We were just back. I think up until watch night, churches were seeing very, very high attendance. I think after watch night and the numbers we're seeing, people are more cautious.
Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Crossing over to the University of the Bahamas, its president, Dr. Rodney Smith, says the tertiary institution was fully prepared to operate in the virtual space at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic after going completely virtual in 2019. He says by the time the lockdown began in March 2020, faculty had already been preparing weeks in advance of that eventuality, and operations continue to progress smoothly.
In the summer of 2020, all of our faculty members became online certified teachers. And so we have been able to gradually go back into a hybrid model. Some of our courses are actually in hybrid mode, for instance, some of the sciences, but particularly culinary arts. We have, in the past week or so, we have been able to mobilize the Nursing and Allied Health Division here on the main campus so that the Ministry of Health could have access to the buildings on Grosvenor Close. So we are doing extremely well. Our students are taking approximately about 1,300 courses a semester right now between the main campus and Grand Bahama campus. What's interesting is that we have students who are taking courses from all islands right now whilst they're at home.
Dr. Smith credits the pandemic to expanding its reach to the average student and adult learner, sharing that there are students from Canada and even as far as France, while faculty members are teaching from every continent. He says despite a slight drop in enrollment in spring 2021, this year's spring semester numbers have more than doubled.
Well, what I keep telling the faculty members is that we are in the midst of a fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is actually being initiated by artificial intelligence and technology. So faculty members are being encouraged to become innovative, to think outside the box, to find new ways to reach our students, and to also engage in flexible learning models so that we can reach all students no matter where they are and no matter what level they're at as well.
Meantime, the University of the Bahamas' Board of Trustees has its first female chair. Appointed to the top post is former Cabinet Minister Allison Maynard Gibson. Well-known businessman and former University of the Bahamas trustee Peter Whitehead will serve as a vice chair. Maynard Gibson says this new role is part of her commitment to elevate the country's tertiary institution as a hallmark of excellence by offering her support to faculty and staff who choose to engage in research that contributes towards national development for sustainable and positive change. The Board of Trustees serves as the governing body of UB. It's responsible for the general direction and control over the conduct of the university's affairs. The board consists of 9 trustees.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Throughout all of our family islands, a Family Guardian home service agent can meet all your insurance needs. We offer life, health, and property and casualty insurance policies to help protect you, your loved ones, and your assets. With offices in Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Grand Bahama, and agents throughout the islands of the Bahamas, a Family Island agent is always nearby. Family Guardian, at your service, at your door. For any inquiries, WhatsApp us at 357-9632.
Fixed and mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital Wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, Digital Wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Michael, let me borrow your car, please.
Don, I tell you I have to get my car license.
How long I can take, man? Let's go there now.
Why do you need my car so bad?
It's an old schoolmate, man. She'll meet up for lunch.
Well, I hope she's taking you somewhere nice because you know we ain't easily impressed.
You can pay for your license and inspections online now. They'll confirm your inspection appointment and bring the decal to your car.
I'm impressed.
Prior to the decision to reopen schools for face-to-face learning, consideration was being given to how students challenged for one reason or another in church facilities. But as the Bahamas Christian Council president told our Carla Palmer, those talks didn't produce any vital results.
President of the Bahamas Christian Council, Bishop Delton Fernanda, says, like always, the church stands willing and ready to assist in matters of national development, and education of the nation's children is no exception. His comments come as church leaders participated in a walkabout with education officials in the Freetown community some 2 weeks ago in a partnership initiative to speak with parents of delinquent students. Still, says chief of the religious body, they have some concerns.
Some of the things that are being asked of us is like safe places for people who are not in school to come out. And we had some concerns about liability, sanitization. And these are hard conversations. You have to put together numbers. You have to figure out what's your feasibility study of what that demographics is in that area, how many a facility can hold, who's going to be the feeding budgets, what's going to be the sanitation budget. Most of our churches don't have the Wi-Fi capacity to do what they're asking us to do. Until we can do these things, you can ask, but the answer has to be from a place of information.
Apostle Fernandez says answers from education officials to these concerns are crucial, especially in this COVID environment.
Yes, the church can do their part by making facilities, but we are in a different time. When things happen during school hours, we're still in COVID. Who is going to man the station? What are going to be the security people in place? Who's going to sanitize? Who's going to provide the actual presence on the campus? Who's going to feed the children?
Apostle Fernanda points out that some church properties are already being utilized daily in the interest of national development.
There are churches in Freetown. I guarantee they are engaged in the community. Our facilities are being used by the state for the formal feeding programs, still vaccinations and the like. And so we're going to get in, we're going to adopt schools. We talked yesterday about what will be our approach. And one of the things I think has to be understood about the church is we multitask a lot. And sometimes what fits one church might not fit all churches, but we will do our part.
But still, Apostle Fernanda says the Christian Council is committed to the effort. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
In recent years, a number of studies have shown that when it comes to cell phone use among young people, the effects have in some cases been damaging. In fact, this argument came to light recently as social media giant Instagram was forced to answer questions centered on the ill effects on teens who frequent the platform. However, local psychologist Dr. Wayne Thompson argues more must be done to protect children.
Governments are beginning to enact legislation to protect the humanity of the next generation of young persons coming up. Because once again, greed has become the order of the day with these platforms. So I don't want parents to panic over their children using social media platforms. No, what I want parents and guardians to do is to value the importance of having healthy human emotional exchanges with their children.
Dr. Thompson says building children from the inside out is the surest method to protect them from the adverse signs of social media.
Work on the development of the self-worth and the self-esteem of your child and or your children, so that when they do come into contact with rude, obnoxious, distorted individuals in social media, that they will have the power and the courage to block and to delete those persons.
The Progressive Liberal Party honoring the life of a stalwart counselor who died tragically last month. Anthony Smith reports.
Former unionist, well-known businessman, and according to those who knew him best, an advocate and champion for causes big and small. Emotions running high as family and friends on Thursday remembered the late Leon Christopher Griffin.
He was intelligent and fair, sometimes brutally honest in his contributions, which were always laced with a happy humor. Leon Griffin was a political warrior and a patriot, a stalwart soldier.
Sentiment shared by those who filed into the Farrington Road, Sterling and Pinling Center on Thursday. Griffin lauded for his invaluable contributions in modernizing the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union during his time as president. But more than that, he was a family man. The husband to former Social Services Minister Melanie Griffin, whom he served lovingly beside in the Progressive Liberal Party as a stalwart counselor.
We owe our existence politically in our leadership to the strength of conviction of supporters like Melanie and Griff, who would give their all, never ever seeking any kind of commensurate reward. Outstanding members of our party, outstanding citizens of our country.
Griffin's life tragically ended after December 23rd tragedy. But even as friends, family, and colleagues mourn, they find comfort in the life he led.
He understood that he lived, but he lived for the Lord. And in death, he knew he died for the Lord. So whether it's death or life, he is the Lord, and that's how he lived. That gives us the comfort to know. Gives us the comfort to know that death is not the end. It's not a full stop, but it's rather a comma in the sentence of all our lives.
A homegoing service for Griffin is set to take place at Faith United Baptist Church on Saturday. Anthony Smith, ZNS Network News.
We elevate. elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate.
It's a tradition for us here at BTC to reach out to the wrongfully homes for children right around this time of year to spread some holiday cheer. And this year was no exception.
So this season, the Business Intelligence Department, we just wanted to express our appreciation to the staff and administration of the wrongfully home. We looked at some of the missions of the wrongfully home, and the one that stuck out to us would have been they aim to ensure that the kids develop a strong sense of self-worth. So that stood out to us, and we definitely wanted to contribute in this regard so the children can be sure to enjoy the holiday season, and we definitely wanted to support this particular mission that they had.
The kids have been doing great. You know, like everyone who's been struggling with the virtual, we're finally getting a hand on it, and we're expecting some great grades, man. Every little thing is appreciated, you know, and keep supporting us, man. We really appreciate it, man.
We hope that the spirit of giving lasts beyond the holiday season and that we all remember that a little goes a long way. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pythram. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection.
Elevate, we elevate.
Minister, the Honourable Philip Davis, along with Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, and State Minister for Education, the Honourable Zane Lightbourne, recently toured 8 public schools in New Providence, which had undergone extensive repairs. The officials were pleased with their findings.
The Minister of Education is really on top of ensuring that the physical plans for permitting in face-to-face learning is in place. And I want to congratulate her for efforts to ensure that this was in fact the case.
It's such an incredible dynamic space, and we've tried very hard to make it as facilitative as possible. Contractors have worked very hard, and so and the Ministry of Works, we're very appreciative of the work that's being done, and we look forward to the paradigm shift in delivery of education in terms of the outputs for our children.
I'm so honored that the timeline that was given to this specific objective in many cases were exceeded. That is very encouraging because the interruption that has caused over the years of the lack of completion of school repairs is something that was taken on and head first by the Prime Minister and the Minister of Education.
Prime Minister Davis sends a special message to students.
I want to assure them that we are working assiduously to ensure that they are in classroom as soon as possible.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk. Want to stay in the know? Subscribe. Text 819-BMOE. That's 819-2663. Remember to like and subscribe to our social media platforms.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Look, I don't know who Sean they think I am, all right? I only win 2 BAISS championships. I deal with connectivity.
Alive. What do we got?
Well, we are 100% Bahamian owned, and we inspired all Bahamians to believe in best. And we delivered on revolutionizing telecommunications in the Bahamas. Not to mention, our network works in the good days and the bad.
Thank you. But I need you to go faster. Be better.
Say goodbye to the clunky, old, outdated, tiresome way of buying insurance. Get covered in a click with First Online. a new online insurance portal from Bahamas First. It's the simple way to do insurance. Visit BahamasFirst.com to get an instant quote, pay premiums, and manage your claims anytime and from any device. First for our car and home insurance customers. It's another first from Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Parliamentary Commissioner Lavardo Donkinson today assuring that all the necessary measures are in place for the January 27th local government elections throughout the Family Islands. Some 60,000 Family Islanders will be voting for an estimated 617 candidates. Commissioner Donkinson revealing at today's press briefing at the Office of the Prime Minister that mandatory protocols have been satisfied, namely completed registration, writs issued, notices published, and certified copies available for distribution. Amid the ongoing pandemic, health and safety remains a top priority.
Election poll workers were, and will continue to be encouraged to be vaccinated, or at least commence with the vaccination process. All poll workers, that includes the election agents, are required to wear face masks. That includes persons presenting themselves to vote on local government election day. The healthcare professionals have stressed that our poll workers wear both the face shields and the medical grade face masks that were made available by the Parliamentary Registration Department.
Eligible voters can cast their ballot between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. with 1 hour for lunch plus an extra hour to vote. A voter's card or government-issued ID, including a driver's license or a national insurance smart card, is required. Donkinson says there's additional security for a smooth operation.
We have liaised with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and where it is possible for their protocol, there's health and safety ambassadors, the COVID-19 police, where COVID-19 police officers are available, or officers I should say, we will be engaging their services to assist with the social distancing on the outside.
Positive COVID-19 infections still a concern for Family Islanders. 495 cases have already been recorded on the island of Exuma. Here's Administrator Christian Palacios.
We have experienced a rise in the COVID cases here on the island. I was advised by the health authorities that the majority of those cases were non-residents. I was also advised that the hotel properties here on the island have COVID protocols in place where those persons have or are in quarantine. Once tested positive, then they are in quarantine in the separate section of the hotels.
While visitor numbers are expected to increase, Palacios says for the most part, residents are keen on following safety protocols in a bid to keep cases down.
During this time, a lot of boaters frequent Exuma, so that the numbers of visitors are expected to rise. The residents they are following protocols. The visitors also, you would see them wearing their masks. All of the business establishments have up noticeable signs with COVID protocols. They're also very strict with the no mask, no entry rules with their establishments. So I can say that here in Exuma, we are following the COVID protocols.
COVID also halting a new airline service to Exuma. Area MP Chester Cooper, who doubles as tourism investments in aviation and Deputy Prime Minister, explains.
The Exuma direct to Toronto leg has been temporarily canceled due to operational issues and COVID in particular. We anticipate that that's going to be restarted in the future as well. We have a great partnership with Air Canada, and we anticipate that they're going to be back.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makushla. Outside of our studios, we are under clear skies. Temperature at 77 degrees. The relative humidity at 78%. East-southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,018.0 millibars. That's 30.07 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tour, Key, and Marsh Harbour, Abaco. The Berry Islands at 74. Allenstown, Bimini, I think they're at 73 degrees, 74 in Harbour Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 76 degrees, 75 in Black Point, Exuma, and Camp Space at Andros. Fresh Creek, Central Landers also at 75 degrees. Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, 76, 78 in Georgetown, Exuma, 78 also in Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, and Ragged Island. Betsy Bay, Meguana, 79, Ackland, 79, Matthewtown, Inagua, 80 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also at 80 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Pink Setter. In the northwestern islands tonight, light and variable winds with flat seas, wave heights 1 to 3 feet. High tide that takes place at 9:34 tonight. In the central and southeastern islands, easterly flow at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet, so caution flies remain in place for the central and southeastern islands tonight. Now, tomorrow, in the northwestern central islands, the winds rotate further clockwise, becoming east to southeast, picking up in speeds 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. High tide tomorrow, 9:52 in the morning, with a low tide at 4:18 in the afternoon in the southeast. Bahamas tomorrow, southeasterly winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet, and that caution flag stays. And as we take you into Saturday, in the northwestern islands, the winds will swing out of the south to southwest ahead of an advancing cold front. We'll tell you more about that later in the newscast. High tide, that's going to be at 10:31 in the morning with a low tide at 4:57 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Saturday, southeasterly winds 10 to 15. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Jolly gray, your boat needed bailing out. Yeah, that sailorman sound. Jolly gray, your boat needed bailing out. Yeah, the sailorman sound. You wanna go to heaven, put the radar on your head.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Extended weather forecast is still ahead.
A good savings plan starts with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Bumblebee tuna in oil or water, 5 ounce, 2 for $2.05. Devon corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.49. Libby's whole kernel corn, 15 ounce, 4 for $4.59. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 89 cents per pound. Hygiene bath tissue, 4-pack, 2 for $3.99. Serious savings at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
The floor was open for farmers to express a myriad of concerns to the Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs, Clay Sweeting, this week through a virtual meeting called Farmers Voice.
Once you become a registered farmer, you are able to obtain a duty-free permit to import necessary farming items such as equipment and seeds. We have also been working along with the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IECA, to encourage locals to buy Bahamian.
The virtual meeting, in conjunction with BAMSI and BAIC, allowed farmers to field questions not only to the minister, but also to Parliamentary Secretary Leonardo Lightbourne, BAMSI Executive Chairman Tyrell Young, and BAIC Executive Chairman Leroy Major.
I know a lot of farmers have also experienced raccoons attacking livestock and other produce. Is there going to be at least a government initiative, organizations to plan like hunting seasons or open seasons?
I want to know, for people who are not just interested in farming but also manufacturing, is there
anything in place, I'll be able to give them some sort of assistance, whether it be for facility or even help getting machinery and equipment so that we can actually mass produce.
What incentives are available for those of us who are farming on a very, very small scale?
And we'd like to be able to be granted our land so we can expand.
Clearly, we must not only increase our individual efforts, but we must work together to coordinate the delivery of resources, knowledge, and policies that will ensure that we can feed ourselves.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Georgia Bain.
Almost every journey starts with your car. We spend most of the early stages of our lives anticipating getting our first set of wheels. When that moment finally comes, let AID be there for all your auto needs. Make it yours by accessorizing, maintaining, and repairing your car with AID. Whether you're a professional mechanic, a recent graduate, a full-time mom, or an I can fix that kind of guy. Or if you're completely clueless about what your car needs, AID will assist in providing a large variety of auto parts, a diagnostic center, and great customer service. For all life's auto journeys, we're here. AID, all you really need and more.
We Buy You Sell offers the best in impact windows and doors. The first line of defense in protecting your home and family with premium designs and affordable pricing. We can make your dream home a reality. We also stock a wide variety of tiles such as porcelain, mosaic, and plank tiles. We offer the lowest rates in the country. Located at number 163 Robinson Road. Call 677-2856 or 324-6427. We Buy You Sell. Come and see us today.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Welcome to sports, everyone. Well, over 100 golfers set out to take home the 2022 Korn Ferry Great Exuma Classic crown, but after nearly 5 days of competition, only one would come out on top. That would be 19-year-old golf phenom Akshay Bhatia, who would finish 14 under par to take home this year's title. Bhatia, who turned pro when he was just 17, received backlash for the decision. Now, just 2 years later, he's in a position to earn a PGA Tour card in what was his first appearance on the Korn Ferry Tour as a full member. Entering the final round, Bhatia found himself 3 back of the lead, needing a low number on Wednesday to have a chance, and he did just that. His final day 7 under 65 was his best round of the week, highlighted by this amazing shot on the 18th hole.
Yeah, it's really cool. I didn't really know what to expect. I hurt myself 3 weeks ago, dislocated my shoulder, so I didn't even know if I'd play this week. And for this to be the outcome is a dream come true, and having my girlfriend on the bags was, something we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. And it's just exciting, and now I get to play next week, and yeah, it's great.
The win was especially sweet for Bhatia, as he had recently recovered from a shoulder injury and wasn't sure how he would fare.
Yeah, it took a couple hours a day with my PT at home, and it was hard because I couldn't hit balls even though I wanted to push it, and I just had to keep waiting and waiting and waiting until I thought, I could do enough to come out and compete, and it all kind of worked out. I had a little pain this week, but not enough to, not keep playing.
Now his thoughts on that impressive shot on the 18th hole.
Yeah, well, off the tee, I didn't know if the ball was going in the water or in the rough, but I was happy it stayed up, laid up, and yeah, I don't know. The shot just felt comfortable. I didn't expect it to hit the flag or be that close, but I expected, to have a 20-footer, 15-footer, anything on the green to give me a chance to secure it, but for that to happen, it was icing on the cake.
Bhatia's celebration will be short-lived, however, as he's scheduled to compete in the Great Abaco Classic starting on Sunday. Signing out from the beautiful Sandals in Emerald Bay. For my cameraman, Anton Breenan, I'm Almajal Knowles, ZNS Total Sports.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Best rate, no delays. Best rate, no delays. BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment. Best rate, no delays. Best rate, no delays. Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
If you like a hearty, meaty burger, the A1 Steakhouse King at Burger King Nassau has it all. With flame-grilled beef, lots of bacon, cheese, and crispy onions on a sesame seed bun, the only thing that can top this is the tangy flavor of A1 steak sauce. The Steakhouse King is a meat lover's dream, and with an ice-cold Pepsi and hot fries, it's all you need to fill your day. Get your A1 Steakhouse King as a combo or part of the new King's Feast, only at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
And mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital Wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, Digital Wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, that area of high pressure across the Bahamas continues to weaken as it shifts towards the east to make way for a frontal system, and we anticipate some cyclogenesis taking place here in the northeast Gulf of Mexico tomorrow, and once that low is properly formed, we expect it to track northeast across the Florida Peninsula, dragging with it some moisture out of the Gulf, and when that interact with the daytime heating, you can expect some heavy showers and thunderstorms around the Grand Bahama and Bimini area on Saturday, and they could produce some dangerous lightning and probably even some tornadic activity as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that development over the extreme northwest Bahamas. Elsewhere across the northwest, there will be some pockets of showers not as intense as the extreme northwest Bahamas. Our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy with a brief shower or two, temperature on the mild side at 68 degrees, and tomorrow we are looking at partly sunny with a passing shower. Again, 80 degrees for a high temperature. The extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, a couple of the wet stuff developing tomorrow as that low begins to move towards the northeast, becoming more heavy on Saturday, and as we said, particularly in the extreme northwest Bahamas, around Grand Bahama, Bimini, and even the Abacos as well. We throw them in there. But things will improve once that front goes through on Sunday morning, just around 7 o'clock or so. The skies will start opening up again, and we'll see temperatures drop into the low 60s. Just briefly, and then it'll get back up into the mid-60s, and that should remain for the balance of next week.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. And as we celebrate our 44th year of television broadcasting, it feels great to be your home. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching, and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.